Starting this year in the hybrid model presented us with many unique challenges.
It was pretty challenging.
Well, at first I was like, oh no, this is going to turn out horribly for us.
When we first started, I was probably feeling equally as excited as I was scared.
I had concerns.
I had a bit of anxiety.
I thought that there's no such thing.
At first, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm never going to be able to build those relationships.
Overwhelming in the very beginning of school.
I was a little overwhelmed.
I have to say, out of my 30 years of teaching, this has been the most challenging experience of my life.
When you're a specialist and you're teaching hundreds of children, it can be difficult to really connect with every single one.
Normally, in a regular busy art room, it's really hard to get to every single student and give them personal feedback.
One of the things I really love about Seesaw is that you can interact individually with every single kid.
It allows me to have the time to really listen to what the students are saying.
I'm proud of the colors.
I love listening to their little voices and to be able to respond specifically to each of them.
I have had a chance to work with individual students.
Hello, May. And first of all, great looking rhythm page.
See their responses.
Each one is correct. She sang.
And then give them some individual feedback.
Ta-ta. In the seat.
I've been really enjoying my chance to connect with each student one-on-one.
Brendan, I think your goal of under 23 seconds is perfect.
One thing I'm really loving about this year is kids are getting really specific feedback that's tailored to them.
I'm going to show you my room now. I'm
What I really loved about the video was I got to get a glimpse inside your house, got to hear your voice, got to meet your mom and dad.
Seesaw has allowed me to connect more one-to-one with my students in their lessons.
Hola, señor Umel. I just wanted to say I had a great Spanish couple
I also leave personalized feedback for the students, either in voice form.
Lydia, that's awesome that you love to bake.
Or I'll type something out. I can have conversations with students through the comments in Seesaw.
Yum, those sound delicious, Lydia.
We're in fact able to have good interpersonal exchanges back and forth.
Then, ¿cómo estás?
I feel like I'm able to hear and know each kid a little bit more personally in a little bit more individualized way than I ever could in the in-person classes because of the brevity of time and the number of children in the room together.
So it takes a tremendous amount of time, but it's time well spent.
You're sending a message to every child that you're teaching, and I love that.
I've also tried to really incorporate differentiation into the lessons.
How did that make you feel as a reader?
To allow students to challenge themselves at whatever level they want.
One of my biggest successes has been trying to provide differentiated instruction for all of my students. I've taken two different approaches. One is heading to their classroom, maintaining social distance and working with them outside of the room, one-on-one, to give them some clarity and direction in the project.
I have always started off my lessons
Hi, second graders.
with a personal message from me.
Welcome to your library lesson for this week.
I learned about a differentiation process. So it's mild, medium, and spicy. And everyone is expected to complete the mild activities so that they all have the same foundational skills. Then if they want an extra challenge, they can bump over to the medium column. And then if they want an extra challenge, they can move over to the spicy challenge.
Or the other is utilizing Zoom for students that are in a different cohort and aren't in the building at the time.
Zooming into classes to offer live mini lessons.
And the biggest success that I've had is working with a third grade student. He reached out to me on Seesaw advocating for himself.
I didn't really get the directions too much. They were
So I emailed his dad and scheduled a Zoom
The
meeting.
students are able to receive a live lesson.
We met and we worked for 25 minutes on the project.
So this has been really helpful for those lessons that they're going to have a lot of questions about.
I used my document camera to clearly show him the different steps. We talked about how things are going with both his artwork and just his life in general in this unique situation. He seemed to have a really clear understanding of the concept. And about 15 minutes later, I received an email from his dad, who was so excited to show me a picture of the student who I had been working with teaching his younger brother the same lesson that he didn't understand about a half an hour
Zooming
before.
into the classes has also been a highlight for me because I can see the students in real time.
So it was so rewarding for me to see a student transition from not understanding a project to teaching the project within a half an hour.
Thanks so much, Mr. Poole. I hope we can have another Zoom meeting if I get messed up, or just to say hi, because FYI, you're my favorite art teacher. Quiz are just another way to let go all of the things that you were learning before. In your regular classroom with your regular teacher, you only learn reading, writing, math, and science.
There's definitely a lot of ways that this isn't an ideal time for us.
They need to have some time to draw, run around, play music. It's not like you're gonna come to your classroom and the teacher's gonna be like, we're gonna want to play the flute.
But I think it's also an opportunity for us to really expand what we can do in unified arts.
It's been a long day of work, and then you can be super stressed out, and then it's it's UA time, everyone.
Hi, kids. Actually, I can take my mask off because I am all by myself in here.
This particular activity, I used Google Slides to bring the students on the Portland trails. Their goal is to make it to the end. There are numerous ways to get there, as well as dead ends. Once they complete it, they are given a map to the actual Jewel Falls and encouraged to try it on their own. We recently had an obstacle course creator, and I wanted the students to demonstrate their knowledge of locomotor skills, levels, pathways.
Motor movements, and then moved on to levels, high, medium, and low. Next week is pathways.
I encouraged them to be as creative and outside of the box as they could, and it was amazing what they came up with.
I like being creative in everything that I do. Last week we had to create an obstacle course. I turned it into a rollerblade course, and I had to do it, and I had to go forwards, and then I had to do it backwards. So yeah, I really like mixing things up in PE because there are so many different possibilities.
Students have also been given the chance to share their work with each other through our blog. So once they've completed these various challenges, they're able to post to the blog if they want, and they're able to interact with each other. And it's a really great way to keep each other motivated.
My UA team has been the rock for me. I feel like I'm constantly at a door looking in, going, help, and they have truly been there for me.
Hola. One of my biggest successes this year has been collaborating with Senora Lowry.
This year, I'm telling a lot of stories.
Together, we have explored ways to enhance students' lessons throughout music, videos,
drag the red boxes into the Venn diagram.
The children record themselves speaking to me in Spanish,
and other interactive games.
So I'm able to hear each child individually speaking. I pause the video periodically and ask them questions, and then I pretend that I can hear them answering me, and I wait.
I have felt encouraged to learn more new skills.
I also hear that kids find it fun. It's meant to be entertaining exchange in Spanish.
We work on a lot of foundational skills, like holding your pencil.
They've learned techniques such as drawing three-dimensional shapes in one-point perspective,
how to clean out your paintbrush,
how to do an observational drawing of a leaf,
and use your paint palette,
and then layer watercolor paint to recreate the colors on the leaves, how to use a wet-on-wet wash to fill a background.
Those are the things that we're really focused on. Line, color, and shape.
I am Mr. Poole. I'm so excited for tomorrow's project.
So an artwork may start in pencil and then be traced in marker and then add color.
Boom, splashed with color.
And finally, a background. And on Seesaw, you can see a picture of each of those steps of the process.
Students taking video of themselves, talking about their art.
That you helped me make something.
We're building these visual portfolios.
Students submit an image of their artwork.
And all these amazing things.
Each week.
What makes you proud about this piece of artwork?
What makes me proud is this leaf right here.
As well as the finished product.
These are things that happen naturally in the classroom, so having students be able to reflect in Seesaw and then me being able to respond to them has been such a gift.
And I can't tell you how much I love art. I mean, honestly, I love music.
In music, we do a lot of
things like warm up our singing voice.
It's time to explore our voices again.
And I use puppets.
Let me bring out Mr. Butter again.
And I'm silly sometimes.
Oh!
And that helps to kind of make us feel like we're more connected, I think.
Draw a little line, kind of like the lines Miss Hanson had on the board
For
today.
music,
we play instruments,
egg shakers, bells, scarves, for dancing, for moving.
Folk dancing, circle games, and
We use our rhythm sticks along with claps.
we sing.
We also do a lot of songs and singing.
I'll fly to town.
And then we set up sections, A section, B section. So try to be as active as possible in all these music assignments.
I like all of them, but probably my favorite is technology class.
I'm spending a lot more time having them think bigger picture of coding. So for example, we start out with a documentary from Netflix. It gives the history of coding from how it started, how it's evolved to where it is today with artificial intelligence and machine learning. And what I think that does, it helps kids think about their life a little more. Your life, how is coding impacting my life? It gives a lot of real life examples of how coding impacts us in ways that we maybe weren't aware of. And then we dive into a little quick unit that allows them to experience being the designer.
All around you, computers are making decisions. And those decisions affect your daily life. Computers can already recognize your face and understand your voice. You're about to get the chance to train your own machine learning model.
Kids learn to program a machine to recognize both fish and trash.
So how is any of this possible?
And it opens up conversations to, what is training data? How do scientists collect it?
Where does training data come from? And
what is bias? Why is bias
does
important?
data represent all possible scenarios and users with power?
Without that, it probably would have been way more confusing to learn.
Your kids are doing great, which is a credit to you families. Thank you so much for supporting from home. I know it's a great big ask on you, but the children are doing terrific. So thank you so much. Gracias y adios.